Hello friends and welcome to Sharedom Smiles. I'm Alyssa and today I'm going to be doing my first upon first listen album review that I've done in a while. And so the album that has kind of brought me back is The Architect by Paloma Faith. This version is the deluxe version, which is what I listened to before I even realized that that's what it was. But I wanted to share my feelings on all of the songs that I had heard and I didn't want to have to cut any of it out. And so it's just going to be a review of the deluxe edition of The Architect. So it starts out with Evolution, which is featuring Samuel L. Jackson, and this is a spoken word piece, I suppose, that you hear Samuel L. Jackson speaking, and it kind of sets the mood up for what's to come and works well with the next song, which is The Architect, which is the title song of the album, and they work well together to kind of set up the expectations of the rest of the album. With The Architect itself, I really loved the drum and percussion that you heard within it, and I thought her vocals and the power behind them were on display right away with this song. It definitely showed them off really well. The third song is called Guilty. I loved her lower vocals on the verses. Her lower register just sounded so strong and beautiful, and I thought it was great. This song is her kind of warning that she's going to ruin whatever relationship that they have, like just kind of giving this person a heads up, like, I will mess it up. But in the bridge, she's still asking for that person to stay, like, please stay, which I thought was an interesting contrast within the same song, but I thought it worked really well and I liked it a lot. The fourth song is Crybaby, and that's where she really started to bring me in with the individual songs. This one had kind of a softer feel than the first two, and it's all about giving permission to cry. She's talking to a man within the song, and a lot of times the gender roles and expectations are kind of men have to be strong all the time, and she's saying no, it's okay, forget all that, real men cry, and giving this person permission to cry and saying that she is going to be there for him as this goes on and to please cry. And with a name like Crybaby, it sounds almost like it could be taunting somebody for crying, but instead it flips the entire thing around and is giving permission to cry, which I loved instantly. The fifth song is called I'll Be Gentle, and this is her song with John Legend. This one's also a very lovely song about being there for someone and supporting someone. I think John Legend and Paloma Faith's musical styles complement each other really well, and their voices sounded really good together on this song. It was definitely one of my favorites. It definitely hit me on kind of a personal level, and I've been revisiting this song over and over. I'm a big fan. The next part is Politics of Hope featuring Owen Jones. Again, I wouldn't necessarily call it a song. It's more of like a skit in between. It has kind of a news radio feel where you just hear him speaking. And again, it ties together the album. Song number 7 is called Kings and Queens, and this one is a song kind of about young, foolish love and about all of the feelings of that kind of young and newness in love. And it also discusses the idea of maybe in another time, like, we could have been epic, we could be kings and queens, but for whatever reason it doesn't work out. And again, that's where the young, foolish love aspect of it comes in. But that was a fun song. Song number 8 is called Surrender. Again, in this one, she's singing to someone who's been through it, and she's asking them to stay and to surrender themselves to her and to the relationship, and in return, she is promising to be there for them because she understands that this is something that's not necessarily going to be easy for them. The next song is called Warrior. This song is almost from another perspective of the last few, and she's singing about she herself being a wounded warrior who is looking for someone to take her in and to take care of her. The next song number 10 is called Till I'm Done, and it immediately is a more upbeat song in feel, like within instrumentation. However, the song lyrically is about not being able to be the hero, which almost seems like the opposite of the other songs that we've heard up until this point, but still fits in kind of an overall arc if you think of them as being like someone is clearly broken, so she's reaching out and saying, I need you to, like, surrender to me. You can cry. I promise I'll be here for you. But then over time, you know, in relationships and just in life, people, we take turns being the person who is offering the help and being the person who needs the help. And so I think it kind of explores that idea. And it also, with this song, Till I'm Done, where she's essentially saying, I can't be your hero because it is exhausting me and taking everything out of me. It's all of the different aspects of it and all of the different sides of that. Whereas we want to be there for people and we need people to be there for us as well. But if something is too much on one side or the other, the balance is too off, that the issues that can then create. So it does all actually make sense together, even though if you take them one by one, it doesn't really always seem to. But I thought it all went together very well, and I loved that. The next song is called Lost and Lonely, and this one again has a more upbeat feel. And this one of the lyrics that stood out to me is, we could be amazing together, we are strong. And it's about being the one reaching out, but also about the strength of coming together and really of unifying, whether it be like in a relationship. I think a lot of times the songs are framed in that way, but also on a much broader scale of just as people, when we come together, we are strong, and that to do it by yourself makes it a lot harder. And if we work together, there's so much more that we can accomplish, and we can take those turns of being the one who needs somebody and then also being the person who is there for someone else. The song number 12 is called Still Around, and this song would sound at home on an Alicia Keys album. That was what kind of stood out to me. I loved the piano that was in it, but also the whole sound in general I felt also sounded very much so like Paloma Faith, but would fit just as well in an Alicia Keys album. And it's about not being able to get out of a relationship for one reason or another, just feeling kind of stuck and not knowing why she's still around. But yeah, so that was that one. The next, number 13, was again not really a song, more of like a skit. And actually it's called Pawn, which is, and I wrote down one of the names wrong, and I can tell you that right now. So it's a conversation. It involves 4 different people, and they're just kind of discussing different things. And again, I think it helps to tie the album together in the theme of the overall album. The song number 14 is called WW3, which obviously stands for World War III, and as the name would suggest, it's kind of about a tumultuous relationship. I called it group singing. It's kind of choral, but it doesn't sound big enough to be a choir. And there's clapping at the end, which added kind of a different effect with those two things than we've seen in a lot of the songs before, which made it stand out a little bit. And in song number 15, which is Love Me As I Am, it's a song that's kind of a take me as I am. It's that she has become self-aware, she knows who she is, and she's in a good place with that. She's okay with who she is, and that she needs the other person to be that way as well. She's not going to change for anybody. She's already kind of dealt with, maybe these are the parts of me that I don't like as much, but this is what I can change, this is what I can't, and this is who I am inherently, and this is who I need you to be okay with as well. And again, there's more of that choral sounding singing. It sounds a little bit bigger here, so it might actually be a choir. I don't really know. But I actually really liked that song as well. Song number 16 is called Power to the Peaceful. This one definitely has more of a dance vibe to it, and it's kind of a call for more peace and love, but in the form of, like I said, a more fun, danceable song, and it has more of a light feel musically than some of the stuff that has come before it. But I really love it, you know, this kind of call for more peace and love and power in that way. Song number 17 is called Tonight's Not the Only Night, and it's basically don't lose sleep over the things that go wrong, because there'll be a tomorrow or another night. Tonight is not the end all be all. It doesn't have to end because one bad thing happened, so there's no reason to lose sleep over it. There's no reason to let it ruin your experience because there's another day coming, there's another night coming, things will get better. With this song, what kind of stuck out to me was the ending felt kind of like a non-ending. It didn't really end strongly, it just kind of tapered out in a way that didn't necessarily sit well with me expecting an ending, but it wasn't bad by any means, and I like that, you know, there will be a tomorrow kind of vibe for it. Song number 18 is called My Body, and for me, it just is a body positivity song done right. And it the line that stood out to me the most was tells the story in all its glory. She's literally singing about her body and being proud of it and everything that it is and everything that it stands for and what it is for her. And like I said, it's a body positivity song, but it's not one that does it in a way that can be exclusionary or can make, you know, it's not putting down another body to empower yours. It's just completely about being proud of who you are for the sake of being proud of your body and what you have. And I really, really enjoyed it. It's honestly, of the body positivity songs that I've heard, it's probably my favorite one I've heard so far. Now, all that being said, it's not my favorite song of hers vocally. I don't know if her vocal delivery, it just doesn't do it for me on this one as much, but the song itself stood out as being a great body positivity song, and so it won me over in that way for sure. And the last song, song number 19, is called Price of Fame, and it's about the expectations of fame and what it can do to those who have it. But that one, again, it was a good song. It didn't stand out to me as being amazing or anything. But overall, so The Architect, the deluxe version by Paloma Faith, I would give a 4.5 out of 5 smiles. It tells a story in a very effective way, and I think that the overall positivity and the positive messages that this album portrays is something that we need very much so right now in this world, in music these days. There's been a lot of more sad or angry music, and we're kind of losing some of that positivity, so to hear it so much throughout this entire album was definitely uplifting, and I thought it showed off her musical talents beautifully. I thought the songs were perfect for her style. I thought her voice sounded wonderful in all of this. For me personally, I found it very relatable, the idea of needing to be the person to reach out, but also wanting to be the person who, you know, is doing the helping along the way. Also, sometimes just not being able to be that person for one reason or another. And the other songs that didn't necessarily fall under that umbrella, like My Body. I thought all of them, and very much so, were relatable, and so it hit me in more of a personal way. So I guess I'm probably a little bit biased in that respect. But like I said, I felt like musically, the styling, it was all there. It all lined up perfectly. And so that's why I gave it the 4.5. And yeah, so those are my thoughts on The Architect Deluxe by Paloma Faith. I hope you enjoyed this video. Have you listened to that album yet? If so, let me know your thoughts down below. If you like this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up. If you're curious about future videos that I'll be doing, feel free to subscribe. Thank you all so much for watching. As always, I love you all so much. And don't forget to share them smiles. Ciao for now, friends.